our fourth question comes from Special K77, and they write, "OG, loving your content. Keep up the good work." Thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tell your friends about us. He says, "Hey, here is a Halloween question for you since it's the season. Which Kung Fu horror series, in your opinion, is the best?" Ugh! This is going to be a tough one because my I have a limited view of kung fu horror movies. Seen I've seen my share, but I haven't seen more than a lot. I've come to find when I've had some conversations with some other martial arts movie aficionados, I found out when it comes to kung fu horror movies or supernatural movies that I'm actually a little bit limited in what I've actually seen, and so I need to make it a priority to look at more of those types of movies. But I'll take a go at the question. Um, First part of the question that I have to make sure that I'm clear about is when you say kung fu horror series. So when you say series, what do you consider a series? Are you talking about 2 movies, right? Are you talking about 3? Um, I'm going to make the assumption that you're going with 2 or more. That's the assumption that I'm going to make. Okay. So, so I would probably go with uh the Mr. Vampire series. I would have to go with the Mr. Vampire series, not because it's the most popular, not because it's the one that brings most people comes to mind with. It's it I have my reasons. You think about the Mr. Vampire series, there's about 5 movies, right? Including spin-offs, right? It's about 5, I'd say, official entries into the series. Key actors, Lam Chan Ying, one of my faves. Um, Chin Soo Ho, also, again, very special. Shaw Brothers talent. The style, is horror comedy, with some Taoist magic. You got hopping vampires, Zhang Chi, right? And it's mixed with some martial arts. Um, it's got that kind of slapstick chaos magic vibe going for it, right? Some supernatural tension, if you will. Um, I think the best one out of all of them is the first one, the OG one, right? The OG one is, in my opinion, the best of the entire series. Um, there are some other decent ones in the midst of that series. Overall, though, I think is great, and you got to give it props for its legacy, right? Basically, Mr. Vampire series spawned an entire subgenre, right, of hopping vampire movies. Um, yeah, we got to give a little bit of props to Sammo Hung, and I will in a moment. But for me, I think it's Mr. Vampire series. How long did that series go? I think it started in like '85, and it ran into the early to mid '90s. So it had a good run. Um, for me, I'm gonna stick with that one. But we also have to gotta give props to Encounters of the Spooky Kind. Um, if you want to consider it a series, right? I think it's 2 films, both by Sammo Hung. Um, Again, kung fu with a horror comedy twist. Um, you know, you got your sorcery, you got zombies, you got black magic. It's good. It's good. It's funny. I think Sammo Hung's movies may be even a little bit funnier than Mr. Vampires, right? Um the fight choreography is special, right? Sammo Hung is fantastic. Um Love him in those movies. Um the best entry is the first one, right? The best entry is the first one. Some people even might tell you that it's like the blueprint for like a horror comedy kung fu hybrid type movie, right? Um, the dead and the deadly. I kind of include that in that grouping. So um those are the ones that I think of right off the get. I know it's somebody was talking to me the other day about Spiritual Boxer 1 and 2. I don't think that those are necessarily. I guess they are. They're not horror, right? It's foul comedy because it's not really any real monsters or demons in the movies, right? Um, but I mean, I suppose if you want to throw those in because it's a series, because it's Spiritual Boxer 1 and Spiritual Boxer 2, I suppose. Shaolin versus Evil Dead. Shaolin versus Evil Dead. Um, Gordon Liu. Part 1 and part 2. There's another series for you. Um, I don't like them that much, if I'm being honest. I don't think they utilize Gordon Liu the way that I would have liked to have seen him being utilized in those types of movies. But to each his own. Um, Honorable mention: Chinese Ghost Story trilogy. Um, though some might say it's not really martial arts heavy, right? It's kind of light on that. It's like really supernatural, kind of like romance, a little bit of sword play, right? Um, Ultimately, I would say that for me, hands down, I will go with Mr. Vampire. I would go with the Mr. Vampire series over some of those other ones. I don't really see anyone else that stands out. Um, you know, Again, it's subjective. That's what's great about um shows like this or questions like these, where you kind of just give your opinion. I'm sure that there will be people who will disagree with me vehemently. So, um, hey, let us know what you think. Comment below and let us know. I would love to know what you're thinking in the comments. So leave us a comment. And again, Special K77, thank you so much for the question. Let's go on to the next and final question. Let's go.